Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Balanced Fit and Free podcast. I'm Ray Ann Mullins, your host, and I'm so happy that you are here. If you've come back to season 4, then you'll know that during this season of the podcast, we will be exploring more of our inner wellness during the episodes rather than just talking about our fitness level, our nutrition habits. Although in the past seasons of the Balanced Fit and Free podcast, I have also talked about inner healing and mindset, but we're just diving a little bit deeper this season because I really feel like if you've done all the other stuff, you've done the workout programs, you've done the diets, you've done the supplements, you've done it all, then and if you're still not totally fulfilled, then the missing piece is the inner wellness. So, I want to just talk today a little bit about what is inner healing. I have explained it before, but we took a few months off from the podcast. So I'm going to jump back in with explaining what inner healing is. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my personal journey through the inner healing. And then I'm going to tell you a little bit more about what it means to be yourself, your authentic self, your true self. And I will give you some tips on how to get started with that. So let's jump in. First of all, like I said, it's really important to understand what it means to work on your inner healing or to do inner healing. So, inner healing is the process of addressing the emotional wounds, maybe limiting beliefs, and also addressing or thinking about or taking care of unresolved pain that could be holding you back from living fully or authentically. So, inner healing involves looking inward, obviously, with compassion and with curiosity to understand our experiences, how those experiences shaped us, and how they influence our current behaviors, our thoughts, and emotions. The goal of inner healing is not to erase the past, we can't, right? But to make peace with it. By making peace with our past and our experiences, things that we've done, things that have been done to us, things that have happened or been said to us, or whatever the situation, frees ourselves from the cycles of shame, self criticism, or fear that may hinder our growth. Okay, so growth, I mean growth, as in your career, as in relationships, as in physical change, as in accepting yourself, right? Accepting others. There's a lot of different ways that we can grow. And when we don't do the inner healing, we may be missing out on a lot of that growth. So healing starts by acknowledging that we might have some pain. We may have had some trauma or difficult experiences, right? We acknowledge those and understand that they are not faults or failures, but rather natural parts of the human journey, right? By giving yourself permission to explore these parts of your life with openness and acceptance, you can begin the process of healing them, right? In a way that allows transformation in your life. So, inner healing often leads to greater clarity, emotional resilience, like you can handle anything, and a sense of peace, which allows you to connect with your true self and live with purpose and confidence and just authenticity. So, personally, I've been on this journey of inner healing for several years, but in the last year, I have like doubled down on my inner healing. And to be totally honest, the results have been really amazing. So, you might be like, okay, so what kind of results are you getting? So, the results that I've seen from working on my inner self are a few things. I'm just going to share like 3 of them. I would say the first one is being able to meet new friends, right? I opened myself up to meet new people. And if you're listening to this and you know me personally, you might be like, what? Like, Rianne? A lot of people think that I'm outgoing and like it's not hard for me to meet new people. And, that's true. I am outgoing. And it's true that it's easy for me to talk to anybody. But the truth is that for a really long time, I was always wondering what the other person wanted. Like, why would they want to talk to me? Why are they being nice to me? What do they want? Like, I was always really skeptical of why somebody would like want to talk to me or why they would want to be friends with me. And it was like, I don't know, this part of me just didn't know why they would want to be my friend. So there was a part of me that felt like they always wanted something, that why would they be my friend without needing something? Like maybe they needed a trainer. Maybe they just wanted me to like give them my program, right? Like there was always like a part of me that didn't trust that they actually just liked me. But throughout this work, I've been able to see my own value more as a friend. And this has allowed me to be more open and accepting to let people into my life. And it has allowed me to be a better friend to people. So, I mean, maybe that didn't make sense, but um, through the work, I've actually allowed myself to allow people to like me, which sounds really weird, but it's like I've started to feel worthy of having friends and that people weren't just faking it to me. Like there was this like weird part of me that was scared when people were nice to me that it wasn't real or genuine. And that had nothing to do with other people. It was 100% my own like problem. Okay, so that's one area that I've gotten results in that I just feel like worthy of having friends. The second is I'm not hiding as much. So after I closed the studio, which is totally old news by now, but it's been something that's like held me back. Like this closing the studio was like maybe not a big deal to other people as far as like maybe they just thought whatever, I was done with it and moved on. No, it was like a major, major deal to me. And so when I closed the studio, I actually at the same time, well, it was a little bit later, we actually moved to a completely new area, totally different part of town, which completely changed my social bubble. It changed what grocery store I went to. It changed a lot of things. And at the time, I felt like I needed it. And I did. Well, first of all, we love our new house, right? Newer house. But we also I also just wanted to get away from the studio because it was just around the corner from my house. And every time I would drive by, I would feel sick to my stomach or more embarrassed or ashamed, which again was a me problem, right? I used to worry so much that people would be like, oh, we knew she couldn't do it. Oh, we knew she shouldn't have done that. What a waste of her time. Like I had all these horrible thoughts of what other people were thinking, but really I was thinking it about myself. So I started to hide. And that's when I went online with my business, which I talked about in one of, coming back this season. And part of it was because I could hide behind my computer. I could hide in my house and not have to see anyone. And so throughout this work, this inner work, um, I've been able to work on my own feelings and emotions, and I'm being much more honest with myself. Right. So I've been going out more. I've been taking more risks by connecting with other businesses. And I've even joined a networking group, which again may sound weird for me to be nervous about that because I'm outgoing and I teach classes and I talk to people. But honestly, it was very hard for me to want to be in a room with other business owners talking about myself. It was really, really hard, but I did it. And it's one of my favorite parts of the week now. I absolutely love going. I meet new people every time. I've made new connections. I actually now feel accepted and part of the group. Whereas at first, even in the beginning, I was like, they're going to see that I'm just a fraud or they're going to think I'm not good enough to be a part of this group. I had such a negative feeling in the beginning. And again, because inner healing is an ongoing process, I'm starting to realize that so much of that was just in my head, that people don't really think that. And if they do, then, that's their problem, I guess. So finally, I mean, there's been more results, but one more I'm going to tell you about is, I feel more calm in my body. I'm actually a very high energy person, but I'm also a very sensitive person. So, as in, I easily take on other people's energy. and it's exhausting, right? If I walk into a room and I see that, let's say I go to my cycle class, for example, I can walk into a cycle class with 10 totally different people. And if one of those people is having an off day, I easily absorb their energy. And it's exhausting to pretend I don't and to be peppy and to be happy and to lead a class. Okay. And so if you think about my history with teaching classes and being in groups with people, a lot of my work is teaching a group of people an exercise class where you are supposed to be high energy and in a good mood and want to like lead everybody and be an example, right? Well, all of these years, one person, every single time I've taught a class, has sucked my energy. So it's exhausting because then I have to not really pretend, because a lot of times I get going and I can find myself and I can like get my own energy going, but it can really be tiring to kind of fake it, the high energy. It's very hard. So if you go to fitness classes, whether it's mine or other people's, just take a moment and think about how that person has to, no matter what is happening in their day or in their life or with the people around them, they have to be like an example and they have to lead you and be happy, right? It's tiring, So I'm just saying that was really hard. But now I am so much better about it, because what's happening is when you take on other people's energy, it's exhausting and draining. But what I've learned through this inner work is I've learned how to like come into myself, and like just with a one deep breath, I can decide how I'm feeling. I can decide if my feelings are my own or somebody else's. And it took me a while to get this down, but I've gotten it down, and it's made my body calmer. It's made me happier. It's made my head less chaotic. And it's just been so, so much better. So I'm going to take a second, let my dog out of my office because he's driving me crazy. All right. So, because of this calm in my body, I guess I'm going to share one more um, result with you, because I think this is the result people want to hear more about. But because I have more calm in my body and because I'm able to separate other people's energy and my own energy, I've been able to reduce my inflammation so much more. And I've for years have been working on my Hashimoto's and keeping my inflammation low. But through this too, I'm going through perimenopause, which creates other issues with your body, which if you're going through perimenopause or have at some point in your life, then girl, I know how you're feeling. However, throughout this process, another really exciting side effect, I believe, of the inner healing has been that I've lost about 8 pounds. Not a big, huge thing. I talked about the 7 pounds that I'd lost in my podcast. Now it's a whole whopping 1 more pound, which again, nothing to write home about. However, I feel better, right? And I've not really changed anything with my fitness routine or my nutrition other than I do make sure I get over 10,000 steps a day. So if you're not doing that, I promise you it works. But it's one of those things where I truly believe it's my energy, and the blockages in my body have been released, right? My mind is not as chaotic. My body doesn't feel as stressed. I have less inflammation. And so my body has been able to release some of that. And that has been a result of 8-ish pounds on the scale, right? So cool. All right. So the results that you get if you decide to start this process of inner healing, the individual or individually, you will get different results, right? So you have to keep in mind, though, it's just like any other program or process. It's like starting a fitness program, right? You can't go to the gym one time and expect to be transformed. Well, it's the same with inner healing. It's an ongoing process, right? You have to get into the routine, and you have to remember that it takes patience, time, and consistency to see the results. Okay, I have people that I've done like one breathwork session with, and they're like, I didn't really feel the change. And I'm like, well, you did it one time. Just saying, it's like one workout, you're not going to get a 6 pack of abs, right? one day of eating salads is not going to help you lose 20 pounds. So it's a process and it's a journey. And so you can't do something one time and say, it didn't work for me. Well, are you sure? Because here's the thing with like breath work, that's just one of the tools that I use with clients to help with inner healing. With breath work, every time you go, it's going to be different. Okay. It's not the same thing every time. So maybe one session, you didn't have some aha moment, doesn't mean it didn't work, but the next one, maybe you do. So it's something that you want to continually do and work on. And it's not just the breathwork session. There are other ways that you have to work on your inner self. So I'll give you some of that information on how to get started here in just a moment. But here's the thing. If you're going to do the inner healing, you have to understand your true self, right? To do the deep work of inner healing, you must understand what it is to be self. Okay. The concept of self refers to the essential, authentic part of you that is unchanging and whole, like no matter your life circumstances or experiences, right? The self is the part of you that is a wise inner leader that can guide the rest of your inner world. Okay. So no matter what, self is always there, right? But oftentimes, self becomes obscured by other parts. Okay. And the parts come from different experiences and trauma that you've had in your life. So some of these parts have appeared to become a protector in your psyche, right? Guarding you from pain. And other parts of you might carry burdens of fear, sadness, or anger. So these parts are not bad, right? They're simply just a part of you, but they need to be understood and nurtured by self. Okay. So, an example of a part would be let's say that you're feeling sad, bored, lonely, whatever. So you start eating chips, or in my case, cookies, right? So this is a part of you that is trying to comfort you and protect you from pain, right? Maybe the pain is the loneliness. Maybe the pain is boredom. It doesn't have to be like a huge thing. I think we think it has to be this horrible trauma that your self is protecting you from. It doesn't. It could be literally something as small as like being bored, right? So this part is going to protect you by encouraging you to go find a snack, right? So that for me, huge part of me that for years I've had to work on. And now that I understand it more, it's so much easier to listen to that part and have myself tell that part that no, 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 you don't need a snack. You need to call a friend. I just talked about this in one of the episodes, right? How I'm able now to reduce the amount of emotional eating I do because I've done the inner work, because I've done the inner healing, and because I have met this part of me. And I'm able, my true self is able to tell this part, no, 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 no. You calm down. I'm good. I don't need a snack. All right. So here's another example. Let's say that you've had a very bad breakup in the past, okay, with a boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever. And let's say at the time of that breakup, that person told you that you're trashy or that you're a bad person and you don't, and nobody will ever date you again and that you don't deserve love. And maybe they're really mean, right? I did not have those happen to me, by the way. But however, I know lots of people that have. So those people that have had this experience may have a part in them that again wants to protect them from another breakup. They want to protect them from the pain of not only the breakup, but of the harsh words that were said that created, a bad self-image, right? So this part of you may be very picky about who you date, or maybe this part of you is like, nope, I'm never dating again. Nope, men suck or women suck or whatever. So this is a part of you again that, is fearing another scenario. So this part may be blocking you from enjoying another relationship, from being open to other people because it's protecting you. All right. So, you know, that's my examples for parts, but moving on. Most people are just kind of living mindlessly through life and ignoring their feelings because they don't want to feel pain. I mean, I don't either. Nobody wants to feel pain. Nobody wants to be sad. Nobody wants to, think about it. But to me, living just, living your life without like living your life, like truly like feeling life is actually really sad because every single human is worthy of living their best and happiest life, right? Too many people are not fully living because they are allowing their past experiences and other limiting beliefs stop their true happiness. And, I'm not going to get too much into this, but I believe every human, no matter how bad, I'm putting that in quotation marks because bad is, an, an opinion, I guess. But if somebody's done something really horrible, I still believe, even people that have done horrible things, I still believe that they deserve happiness. And I do believe that people act from their parts. So now I do think there are really like bad humans in the world, terrorists and things like that. But even terrorists, okay, I probably shouldn't go there, but even a terrorist has been taught to be that way. Right. And so maybe their self really is a terrorist. But like, let's say that somebody um, goes to jail for, I don't know, stealing. Maybe they're a bad thief. Well, was it their self doing it or was it a part of them? So I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to get too much into that right now because we're going to go into that into another episode. But I think when we can truly look at everybody as just human beings that make mistakes, right? That we can have more compassion for everybody and see that people can change and that we personally can change and that even if we've done something that we're not proud of, that you don't have to let that hold you back. That we every day is a new day and everybody deserves happiness and fulfillment in their life. Okay, moving on. I didn't mean to go there today. So, how do you know if you're leading from self? Okay. It's important to know and recognize when you are being yourself. And the idea is that we want to spend most of our life being led by self and not by our protecting parts. Okay. So the self is characterized by the 8 C's of self leadership. So I am studying a program or a system called internal family systems. So all of this is coming from that. Okay. So the self is characterized by the 8 C's of self leadership. Okay. When you recognize and have these 8 C's or live by these 8 C's, they're all words that start with C's. That's what I mean by C's. You know that you are living from your true self. Okay. First one is curiosity. And these aren't necessarily in order. I just want you to know that. These are just 8 words that start with C. They're 8 characteristics that if you are living by, then you can definitely feel like you're leading from self and not from a part of you that's trying to protect you. Okay. So curiosity. When you have an open and non-judgmental desire to explore your inner world and you're curious about how you feel and you're curious about other people and you're curious about um, just everything. When you can have curiosity, that is a quality that you know you're leading from yourself. If you aren't curious and you immediately go into judging, then that's not yourself. That is a part of you. Okay. The second one is calm or calmness, right? This is a sense of inner peace and steadiness, even in a challenging situation. So if you could be in a really bad situation, maybe you're having a fight with your loved one, or maybe, I don't know, maybe you're frustrated with your finances, or there's something happening, right? If you can remain calm, then you know you're leading from self. All right. A third one is clarity. Clarity is when you can see your thoughts and emotions without confusion or distortion. Okay. This is helpful to be able to see because you can get angry, right? Angry is the first one that comes to my mind. Have you ever just been so mad? Let's say your spouse or your partner or even sibling, let's say. Let's say you're so mad and then you say mean things because you're mad. And then later you're like, oh, I didn't mean that. Why'd I say that? It's because you weren't leading from self. You weren't clear. You didn't have clarity. And so you let your thoughts and emotions take over versus yourself. Okay, so clarity. Another one is compassion. So this is extending kindness and understanding to yourself and not just to self, but to your parts. Okay, when you can have compassion for that part of you that wants to go eat cookies, right? That's you being self. If you can have compassion for that part of you that wants to scream and yell at somebody, right? Or punch somebody, whatever your thing is. Um, and you can see why that part of you wants to do it, but you don't do it. That's showing yourself compassion. That is self. All right. Confidence is another, trusting your ability to navigate your life's challenges, having confidence that you're okay, no matter the situation. That is self. Courage. Courage is facing inner fears and pain with strength and determination. Okay, courage. Maybe, to me, courage, like I'm having the courage now to go out and show up in places that I would have been scared to before. That's courage. And that's myself. That's myself having confidence and clarity and calmness and courage. Okay. Creativity is finding new and innovative ways to heal and grow. Okay, creativity. Um, so something I don't know if I've said on here yet is I've decided another way that I want to grow and heal is I want to learn yoga. And so I'm taking a yoga certification. I'll be able to teach it when I'm done, but more importantly, I want to understand it more for myself. And so this is my creative side, going a different route with the fitness world and breath work, all that. That's being creative. And then finally, connectedness, feeling aligned with yourself and others in an authentic way. Connectedness. That's a hard word to say, just saying. Okay. So those are the 8 C's: curiosity, calm, clarity, compassion, confidence, courage, creativity, and connectedness. Okay. So again, when you can see, get it? The 8 C's. Anyway, when you can see that you're leading from these areas or these are qualities that you have, then you can know that, yeah, I'm actually leading from self. That's not like my parts trying to protect me or trying to sabotage me. Okay. Because protecting can also be sabotage. It's another way to say it. All right. Okay, so also, you know what? I'm going to skip that. I was going to tell you about the 5 Ps of self, but I'm going to hold off on that and save that for our episode that's going to be all about parts. We're going to dive deeper into the parts, and I think that's going to be really helpful to you. Also, I'm just going to say right now that I am going to do a master class on internal family systems and helping you understand and apply this to yourself. So that will be coming up in the new year. So keep your eyes out, open for that. So, how do you begin the journey to finding self? Well, the first thing is you need to uncover yourself um, by kind of looking into your inner world, right? Cultivate a relationship with your inner world. Begin by practicing mindfulness, right? Just taking quiet moments to observe your thoughts, notice your emotions, and reactions. So notice how you're thinking, how you're feeling, and how you're reacting. But look at this without judgment, right? It's almost as if you're stepping outside of yourself and watching how you're acting, looking, paying attention to how you speak to people, how you react to people, how you, get defensive or not. Okay. So when you notice strong feelings or even recurring patterns, get super curious with yourself and be like, what part of me is coming up? Like, what is this part trying to tell me? What does this part need from me? What do I need to have this part of me calm down, right? What do I need to do to lead from self instead of allowing my parts to take over my life? Okay. So it's really just about mindfulness and recognizing and understanding, and don't push away your feelings. Don't push away or shove down your feelings or your emotions, because then you're just allowing more parts to come up. And parts are being born all the time. Every interaction you have that maybe is negative, any experience you have, anything that you do, good, bad, ugly, it doesn't matter. New parts are being sprouted. We probably have an entire like schoolhouse inside of us, right? Um, a lot of people, a lot of different parts of us. Okay. And where you go and the people you're around, you may have different parts appear for those specific people or those specific places. Your job parts might be different than your family parts. Okay. So it's really important to just take time to be mindful and really notice, be aware. Okay. And then invite yourself, your true self, to lead. Okay. To lead the parts. Like actually embody the qualities of the 8 C's. Okay. So remember the clarity, calm, curiosity, confidence, like start to embody those. Like, okay. So for example, if you notice fear or anxiety, okay, approach it with curiosity rather than resistance. Like I was just saying, instead of avoiding it or pushing it down or being like, oh, don't think about it, or oh, don't cry, or oh, don't do that. Like be curious about it. Like, why do you feel that way? You know, why does somebody saying something to you make you angry? Like, what is it about you that is allowing yourself to get angry because of somebody else's words? Okay. So imagine the self as a calm and compassionate guide, reassuring your parts that they are seen, heard, and safe. Okay. Over time, as your parts learn to trust you yourself, they can release the burdens that they carry, and you'll feel lighter, freer, and more aligned. Okay, so it's going to take a lot of patience. It's going to take a lot of self kindness, right? There is no quick fix. Just like there's no quick fix for diet, just like there's no quick fix for getting fit, there's no quick fix for inner healing. You got to be willing to do the work. But as you deepen your understanding of yourself and embrace the 8 C's, you'll begin to experience the power of living from a place of authenticity, inner peace, and alignment. So that's all I'm going to go over today. Okay. But remember, I am going to be hosting the masterclass. In fact, this is the information that I taught at the Authentic Awakening retreat. And instead of, waiting to do this only at retreats, I would like to start teaching this more often, because the sooner you know this, the sooner you can change your life. Even if you think your life is amazing and can't get any better, I bet it can. Like, I'm so serious. There's so many parts of us that appear, and sometimes we don't even know it's a part. And it's the sooner you learn this and the sooner you start applying it to your own life, the sooner you can feel better. And if you do have other goals, like career goals or relationship goals or body goals, the sooner you can like find these parts and analyze them and help them and lead from self, the sooner you can reach these other goals, and the sooner you're going to feel more fulfilled in life. So I will be sending out an email. I can't tell you exact date at this point, but please keep your eyes out for that email. I'll be inviting you to the masterclass. If you're not already on my email list, oh, I feel like you totally should be. I do send out a weekly email. I try to keep them efficient. I mean, well, as efficient as I can be. Sometimes they're long, but you don't have to read them. You could just skim them and get what you need out of it. But anyway, I would highly recommend getting on the email list so that you don't miss any like workshops or upcoming classes, or just good information. So thank you guys so much for being here today. And I really appreciate you taking time to listen. And I will catch you in the next one. Take care. Bye.